In the real estate industry, dealing with objections is an everyday fact of life, but how an agent chooses to view them makes all the difference in the world. Real estate speaker, author, and coach Verl Workman says an objection is actually an opportunity just waiting to be seized.
Now, as a salesperson, I love objections. Matter of fact, give me another one. When I get objections, I get little goosebumps on my arms because it means to me I get to overcome that objection, resolve that concern, and ask a closing question. I love it. Now, what are some of the most common objections we get in real estate? Well, let me just throw a few of them out. I love this one. We show up at a listing presentation with our beautiful paper CMA, and the client says to us, "Wow, Verl, that looks really great. Is that something we can think about? Could we sleep on it, or we want to pray about it?" Or pinky swear, when my wife and I got married, we said we'd never make a decision on the first night. So how do we get the client to actually make a decision when you're right there in their home as opposed to getting back to them? What does it mean when someone says, "I want to think about it"? Well, it means that they don't believe you, they don't trust you, they have somebody else that's willing to do it for less, or they want to do it themselves. There's a lot of reasons they will use that as an excuse. So as great salespeople, we have to learn to ask the right questions. Now, how often do you get the objection that someone says, another agent said they would do it for less, or I've got a cousin or a friend in the real estate business, they'll do it for 2% or whatever their low percentage is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe we should ever discount our price. Matter of fact, I believe that we should learn from the greatest salespeople that are out there. One of my favorite sales gurus, Ron Popeil. That's right, the Ginsu knife guy on TV. I remember being in Texas at a real estate convention, and I was flipping channels at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and the realtors were downstairs partying. I can't imagine that. And I was staying awake at night, and I was flipping channels, and Ron Popeil comes on. And Ron's taught me several things. One of the things Ron's taught me is this. First of all, he's taught me that pain is a greater motivator than the anticipation of pleasure. And he shows pain by taking out a big red ripe tomato and setting it on the cutting board. And with a knife like we all have in our kitchen, he says, "How many of you have a knife like this?" And I'm raising my hand because Ron's asking me the question directly. And then he sets the tomato on the counter, and with the knife that we have in our kitchen, he starts cutting that tomato, and it smashes and makes a mess all over his cutting board. And then with his Miracle Blade Ginsu knife with titanium steel and the rivets that go all the way through the handle with a lifetime guarantee, he brings another tomato up and sets it on the counter. And then he starts slicing that tomato. And he slices it so thin that you can use it for a year. And that was his line. And I'm thinking, wow, Ron, that's awesome. And he holds that knife up and he says, "How much do you think a knife like that might cost to have in your kitchen?" I thought to myself, I don't know. $129? And Ron says, "It's not $129. It's not even $99.99. I'm not even going to let you have it for $89.99 or $79.99. Matter of fact, you can't even get this Ginsu Blade or Miracle Knife for $69.99. It's only 3 easy payments of $13.33. I'm looking for my phone. I'm thinking, hey, how do I call this guy? And then he says those famous words, "But wait, there's more." And then he holds up a second Miracle Blade Ginsu knife and he says, "You're going to be white knuckles on the knife in the kitchen. Your spouse is going to want to borrow it. You're going to say, 'No, it's mine.' So I'm going to throw a second one in absolutely free." Now, he had me at hello, but I'm getting real excited now because he starts bringing up other things. He talks about how he's got the big ribeye steak cooking on the grill and how you're going to want to bring your big Ginsu knife to the dinner table and your spouse is going to say no to that. So I'm going to throw in these 4 steak knives absolutely free. I'm thinking to myself, Ron, 4 knives, what am I going to do with that? I have 6 kids. And he says, "But wait, there's more." And he reaches under the table and he grabs 4 more knives. Now I've got 8 knives, 2 Ginsu blades. When he's done with his presentation, there are 33 knives in the set, all for only 3 easy payments of $13.33. And here's what I learned from Ron. You don't ever have to reduce your price. What you have to do is continue to add more value after value after value until price is no longer the objection. When someone says to me, "Hey, Verl, another agent was willing to do it for less," I go, "Yeah, but did they have any of these?" And I bring out more knives. You gotta have more knives. What is it you have that makes you different from everybody else? What is your unique selling advantage, your sustainable competitive advantage, or your unfair competitive advantage? What do you have that really makes you different? I say show up with more knives.
It's a fact worth repeating. The more you sell value, the less price matters. The next time you go for the close, remember to bring your knives. Thanks for joining us.